And that's with the strength that I felt Arsenal demonstrated today. And it's twofold as well. Firstly, when they had those back-to-back defeats to Aston Villa and Bayern Munich, I remember sitting in the studio and hearing Tottenham fan George say to me that they've capitulated in April again. And I asked him a very direct question, and why I respect George, and I'm saying Arsenal fans, you should respect him as well, is he answered it directly. I said, if they beat Wolves, Chelsea, and Spurs, would you look at April as a collapse? And he said, no, of course not. And he's right. Arsenal have demonstrated great perseverance, excellent strength, and some really good performances to get themselves, keep themselves in contention for the Premier League, to not collapse in the same way that we have seen Liverpool. And it was always Arsenal that were predicted to be the team to fall off due to collapsing because of the lack of experience at being in title races and this particular group winning the very big trophies. That's one area of strength I think that Arsenal need huge praise for. Secondly, that they were 3-0 up. I wouldn't say completely cruising because Spurs played well in the first half. They had opportunities. Romero could have scored a couple of goals, especially the second header as an example. There was 2 big shout for penalties. Maddison's, in my opinion, wasn't a penalty. I understand the controversy surrounding Kulusevski's, and we're going to get onto that when the panel comes out and have that debate. But Arsenal scored an own goal from a corner. Would you believe it? Spurs are bad at them. Arsenal were great at them. We saw it. Saka's goal was out of this world. A brilliant pass, a wonderful vision from Kai Havertz. Saka cuts inside, picking up a huge goal. Bukayo Saka with another huge goal in his Arsenal career. Probably the biggest and most clutch moment that he has had. It's in a title race. Remember, goals in these 10 games are worth 2, 3, 4, 5 from other periods of the season. And then another corner. The dark arts from Ben White blocking Vicario from coming out. And the man stepped up again, Kai Havertz, with what turned out to be another match-winning goal for Arsenal. That was great. But where the strength comes in, back to my original point, is the second half begins. Arsenal were actually in control of the game. But they conceded 2 goals, even though they were in control. And what we saw last season, 2-0 up against Liverpool, 2-0 up against West Ham. They conceded 1 goal and capitulated. There was no strength. They did not have the ability to persevere and navigate through that adversity. But today you saw them do it. They're up against their biggest and most bitter rivals. When that second goal went in especially, the atmosphere was electric. I'm not a fan of either club, but I sat here and I got goosebumps and thought, wow, this next 5 to 10 minutes could be insane. But what Arsenal actually did is they nullified the game. Yes, it's nerve-wracking when balls are being crossed in. If Arsenal fans went back and watched it now, you'd have been like me. I didn't think Spurs were going to win it. Both their goals came from really bad mistakes. Declan Rice not looking over his shoulder, gives away a blatant penalty, boots a man in the ball bags. Like, you can't be kicking man in the ball bags and not concede a penalty. And then David Raya with an absolute brain fart moment. But what it did is it gave Tottenham an opportunity. It gave them that small slice of hope they could hang on to. And were Arsenal staring down the barrel of another capitulation from a commanding lead over a big rival in the run-in? Happened last year. Was it going to happen again now? To essentially kill off their title dreams. They persevered through it. And yes, there'll be some criticism from Arsenal fans around to Raya for the way they conceded. Yes, there'll probably be a little bit of criticism. They could have pushed a little bit harder in the second half, got that 4th goal. But I thought Arsenal played well overall. It was a nervous opening 20 minutes where Spurs really came at them hard, pushed them hard, and they looked nervy on the ball, but they grew into the game and they were highly clinical with only a handful of real chances they had today. They then had a few brain fart moments within the team, put themselves at jeopardy, but as a collective, they came through it, and that demonstrates wonderful strength, but it also demonstrates the growth of this team as well. So look, I think Arsenal demonstrated great strength. On the players, like I've already mentioned, Saka, I think he's had a torrid run-in. He has really not been in good form at all. Stepped up today massively. I thought overall, Thought he was a thorn in the side of Spurs on that right-hand side for the majority of the game. He took his goal excellently. And you know that he was doing well because they kept on playing the ball down there. Over 60% of Arsenal's attacks came down that side, partly to do with Davis being there. But if Saka was flopping and not doing a good job, they'd have moved the ball elsewhere. And I think Saka deserves huge praise for that because he's criticized when he doesn't turn up in these games. Today, he did. And the other player, look, he's got to be screamed and shouted about today is Kai Havertz. I know some people will say, but he only has 13 goals. That isn't something to scream about. That isn't something to highly praise. Look, his first 4 or 5 months at Arsenal were average at best. He was getting over the damage done to him in the back end of his Chelsea career. I felt the mistake that Mikel Arteta made was playing him so much. I felt he should have been slowly bled into the team. But he's found his feet now. It isn't just, what is that, his 3rd or 4th match-winning goal this season? To give his team at least 2 extra points in each of those games. That's at least 8 points he's probably won you in this title race. But it isn't just the goals and the assists, it's these overarching performances that are getting better and better and better week in, week out. And the reason I'm bringing up Kai Havertz is because I was somebody who thought it was a poor signing. I'm somebody, although I did say between him and Mason Mount, one of them's going to probably end up doing really, really well. I wish it was Mason Mount as a United fan. But he's proven me wrong, Kai Havertz. And I remember when he was doing well in March, everybody said, he does this in March every year. Chelsea fans said this is normal in March. It'll fall away again in April. But he hasn't. He has been probably the most clutch player for Arsenal in this title run so far. Whether you rate him, whether you wanted him or not, that deserves credit. And I have to be consistent with my view on football. You may disagree with my view, but I've got to be consistent. And that's goals and match-winning performances in title races. They are the creme de la creme. They weigh more than other games throughout the course of the season. And Kai Havertz is stepping up. He's being clutch. He's being dominant. And he is turning out to be, dare I say it, value for money. Because you don't judge a player in their first season based on their fee. You're going to judge it over a 2, 3, 4, 5-year period. And if he has 3 or 4 seasons like this, he's a £65 million player in 2024, of course. When the very best attackers in the world are going for 150 million, you have to factor that in. It does now look like a shrewd piece of business by Arteta. There's no doubt. And I wanted to shout him out. I wanted to give him some praise because I do feel that he thoroughly deserves it. I do feel that he is too often under, not he shouldn't be under pressure, but he has been by a lot of people, including myself, by the way, mocked so much at times. And I think that when you do that, it's fine. But I think you also have to kind of come back at other moments and praise when these individuals do well, or shout out when you have personally got these things wrong. But look, as I say, it was an outstanding game today, especially as a neutral. I think there's going to be some moments that Spurs fans are over the moon with. Arsenal fans are over the moon with. Some bits are disappointed in. But it's the business end of the season. The win is all that matters. That's it. Point blank. I want your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Make sure the like button has been smashed, by the way. Get that done for us right now. Give that a smash. We're going to go to your super chats. Then we're going to bring out the panel to have their say. We will be discussing the penalty incidents when the panel comes out. It's going to be one of the first talking points we go to with the panel. So people saying, why are we not talking about it? We're leaving it to them.